What is this?
If I had more time, I would have written a shorter letter. A famous phrase often attributed to Blaise Pascal, Woodrow Wilson, or Oscar Wilde. Whoever wrote it, the meaning remains the same.
It's
it takes
just
skill to condense information into the smallest possible packet. Rambling is easy. Focusing is
I can already tell he has screen shake and motion blur active with the particles on.
hard. This can relate to video games, MMORPG design, especially thanks to the popularity of a phrase I absolutely loathe. It gets good 100 hours in. I've been making MMORPG related YouTube content for years.
No,
and
this video
variations
is it gets better after 100 hours. ... That's what he says.
of It Gets Good 100 hours in are commented on every single video. It doesn't matter if I personally play for 5, 10 or 50 hours, I will always get someone telling me it gets good 100 hours in. So let's discuss this.
See, this is the thing with the game. If it doesn't capture you right away, boom, the game has failed. See, it's just like a story. It's just like an anime. You know, people tell me like, bro, but the anime is so good. Listen, if I can't fucking like get myself to finish the first episode, then holy hell, I will not enjoy my time with this anime. I will actually hate the anime. Even though it's not a bad anime, but if I can't go through that first episode, I will hate it. I will always have bad memories. Can you experience with the first 4 hours? It took me 10 minutes to fall in love with Guild Wars 2. 10 minutes. And I bought the DLCs. Aeon, it took me 10 minutes as well to enjoy the game. And I was like in love with the game. And Aeon, I've played it like it's one of my longest played games. Warframe. Funny enough, I didn't enjoy Warframe the first time. Warframe is a game you can't play solo for the first time. If you play with a friend, it's a different feeling. For use the second episode, no. There's two criterias. All right? If the anime doesn't get you in the first episode, it's like troubling. By the third episode, if it's not capturing you, that's it. Stop watching it. Stop it. By the time you reach the third episode and you're still not captivated, you've wasted your time and it's a shit anime. So for me, if an anime doesn't catch me by the first episode, I don't watch it. I give every anime a chance. I can't. Like, I tried. Angel Beats. I have a friend who's like, yo, you didn't watch Angel Beats? Oh, man, it's so good. Bro, I actually retried watching that anime 3 times. 3 times. I couldn't get past the first episode. I'm just like, oh, it's so boring. Why is it boring? When did I love Warframe? When I played with a friend. Or he showed me like, oh, you can do this, you can do that. I'm like, oh, shit. Angel Beats was horrible. There you go. See, you didn't get into it. You didn't get into it. Right? You know, it's very simple as that, you know? Major agree on the 3 anime episodes. If you can't get into it by then it's over. True.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. According to YouTube captions, I'm Josh Strife Hayes.
Cheers. Let's see the background. He's got some really good collections here. My man.
Video games, especially MMORPGs, are designed to be played for extremely long periods of time, which means the veterans in those games often have hundreds, if not thousands of hours of gameplay.
Wait, is that a Sega in the back? Which Sega is that? I only ever used a Sega Genesis. I don't know any other Segas.
Time. So when a new player joins and says, I've got a problem with this system, I don't think this part of the game is as good as it can be, I'm not having a really good time in the early game, the veterans often respond, just play longer, it gets better. And a lot of people have told me, you need to play a game for about 100 hours.
Which is not true. And funny enough, there was one game called... Okay, see, if you don't know my the history, I used to play a lot of MMOs, and Lazy Peon, God bless his soul, I used to hate the guy for one reason, and I regret the way I was acting back then because I was fucking stupid. So I was obsessed with a game called Aeon, and I watched Lazy Peon do do a review on Aeon. But the problem is, right, when he did the review, he barely played the game. And he criticized it so hard. It's like, oh, there's no end game, and like you don't have any abilities, blah blah. And he was like level 10 or 20. And I fucking hate it. I'm like, this guy doesn't know how to do a review. He didn't play the game. He hasn't even done this. He hasn't done that. Like, I'm like, then I, like, over time, as I understood a bit more, I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, I was stupid. And then I actually enjoyed his videos a lot more. I think I put 100 hours into BDO. Are you okay? Do you need a hospital? Do you need someone to talk? Do you need therapy? 100 hours in BDO. Listen, we're here to talk. Because anyone that plays BDO literally needs Jesus. No offense, but you do. No, that doesn't matter how much you enjoy the game. Like, you need Jesus. Yeah, BDO, You just open BDO. God, may God have mercy on your soul. 3K hours in Warframe. What's my Warframe playtime? I just started last week, man. It's about, like, I don't know. Not even 100. I don't know. There was an Italian YouTuber that did the same thing on Warframe and says that it's pay to win. It is a pay to win game. What is BDO? Black Desert Online. It's a Korean massively multiplayer online game. It completely strips you out of your life force, existence, and your wallet. So when you think about it, any game where you can put money into the game, get gear and items, and be ahead of your buddy or anyone else, it is pay to win. You're actually winning. Thank you so much, Yoshimon. Will come back with 8 months. Thank you so much, man. If, like, for those who say, no, it's not pay to win, it's pay to progress, that's copium way of saying pay to win. Every free-to-play game that allows you to use premium currency to get items to help you progress faster than your fellow buddy here, it's pay to win. Simple as that, you know? You know? Don't be copium about it. It's actually pay to win. However, it's a very chill version of a pay to win game.
Before you can properly critique it, especially an MMORPG. And I take umbrage against this exact statement, because I think saying you need to play for 100 hours is used as an excuse for poor early game design, or vastly underestimates the amount of free time people actually have to play games. So let's...
And the game was, I mean, the game was released. The game was, when was Warframe released? 2013? Right? People had more time back then. Let's be honest. People had more time then. There wasn't like a gajillion epic games that you can delve into. But it's not like other pay-to-win games. Exactly. In Warframe, everything you pay can be earned in-game, which is true. But still, the guy who swiped got everything faster than you did. The guy who swiped can get a lot of plats to fucking snipe that Riven that you had your eyes on. You know? Let's just say.
Look at both of those things. There are 3 main areas I want to cover to explain why the it gets good 100 hours in argument is a terrible position for a game to be in and actively makes your game worse.
True.
First, the amount of time the average gamer has available to game.
True.
Second, the importance of the new player experience, specifically the first 2 hours.
Warframe, Destiny 2, they both have shitty new player experience. However, Destiny has it worse because if you look at Warframe, when you start the game, you're actually starting at the beginning of the story. In Destiny 2, when you start the game, you're starting at the beginning of the current season. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Who's this? What happened? Like, who's this? How is he talking to me? Am I missing something? What? That's the thing. And copium enough, at least Warframe has a slightly slightly better version of fucking new player experience compared to Destiny 2. True, and when you buy DLC, they mix up old story and the current. Yeah, and then there's content that's been sunset, meaning vaulted. Imagine DE vaulted New War. So you just started the game and you can't do New War because they vaulted it. Yeah.
And finally, the implication this has for your narrative focus or lack of for your game's writing. Let's start with the average gamer. Now, when I say average gamer, who do you picture? What lifestyle do they have? And most
average gamer, the guy who gets up in the morning, goes to work, comes back home, has just, you know, a few hours to play and chat with their homies, like, yo, what's good? Yo, let's play some fucking this and that. And then they go to bed, wake up the next morning, go to work, and come back.
Importantly, how long do you think an average...
D2 is more pay to win than Warframe? No, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. But funny enough, D2 does... see, in D2, you cannot buy a god roll with real money. In Warframe, you can. In Warframe, you can swipe and just buy a god roll ribbon. In D2, you cannot swipe and buy a god roll weapon. Unless you buy an account, but then, you know, that's different.
Gamer plays games for. Multiple studies have been conducted over the pandemic, a perfect time to study gamers when we're all staying inside gaming. And the state of online gaming is interesting. Reported on by Tech Republic, it was found out the average gamer plays games for 8 hours and 27 minutes a week. That's just over 1 hour and 10 minutes a day. The average gamer is also a mid-30s professional male and has on average 3 children.
Listen, that's not true. I mean, probably in the West, 3 kids. God damn, bro. I don't even have 3 kids. I don't even have 1 kid. You're behind Nightmare? True. Yo, listen. Looking for gamer waifu. Just, you know, just holler. Just holler. Yeah. I'm a very simple person, right? Don't need to impress me much. But the only thing that you can impress me with, if you do a 360 no scope blindfolded, yeah, and you do it with your and you do it with a controller, shit, that's it. You're gonna impress me a lot. Hope in trade chat, yes. Want to buy GF? Need kids? DM? No, I don't. Kids, not yet. No.
Now, when I said picture the average gamer, most people don't picture a 30-something-year-old dad of 3 with an hour a day to game. Most people picture a younger person with 4 or more hours of gaming time every single night.
True.
And this is one of the issues with the 100-hour argument. MMOs need casual players to survive. They bolster the player base and bring in massive amounts of revenue, but the average casual player only has 1 hour to play. If you tell them a game needs a 100-hour investment to get good, chances are they will leave. Imagine if someone said to you, you must play this video game every moment of your free time for the next third of a year. And if you do that, you might end up having fun. 100 hours is much more than most people will have free in 1, 2, sometimes even 3 months. So saying that you need to play for 100 hours is unrealistic for the average.
Controller with auto aim, big rip. No. You don't you use it. You play if you have controller, right? And you're playing against a PC lobby. Sorry, a PC lobby. They remove aim assist. You don't even know a person with 1 kid can even imagine 8 hours week of gaming. You can. All right. If your wife is a stay-at-home mom, you know, you can. You come home, you're like, hey, baby. Oh, you miss daddy? You miss daddy? Cool. Let's go. You know? It's like, daddy, I want to play. You want to play? Yeah, here, look, here's a toy. Go fetch. Did you just tell your kid to go fetch? No. And then they continue playing.
player. In fact, the average player will give a new game 2 hours before deciding whether they want to carry on or quit.
True.
When I was playing Warframe, there is an achievement. Play for 2 hours.
Wait, here. It's an actual achievement, by the way, boys. Play for 2 hours. If you didn't play with 2 hours, then you're down to do Vectis run? Nah. I'm not gonna hunt again. I'm drained.
You know how many people have this achievement on Steam? 40%.
What?
Less than half of the people that downloaded Warframe survive for the first 2 hours.
I mean, let's be honest. Warframe, you could download Warframe from the Warframe website itself, not Steam alone. And then you have console, you have all those other people. But for Warframe, I guess, I don't know. I can't save it. I can't. I try my best. I give up. You have 4 kids and still can play games? That's impressive, man. And play with kids and wife too. Dude, you must... Deva, you hit the jackpot. You wanna know why? You got gamer waifu. That's it. You're living the dream, Deva. I'm saying it. Yeah. That's the best part.
You're losing 60% of your potential player base within the first 2 hours. This is how important the new player experience is. This is the vital experience.
She hates games. No. It's like my dad. My dad's also a gamer, right? Because when I was younger, he owned a fucking Sega and he gave it to me and we played it. We got a PlayStation, and my mom didn't like video games. And when he started getting older, like a lot older, he didn't want to use consoles. He wanted to do portable gaming. So he got himself a PSP. Remember PSP those days? Yeah, so he would do that. And my mom got annoyed. It's like, you're just playing video games. So he would you know, when he went to smoke, right? He would usually do it in the bathroom. He would go light a cigarette in the bathroom, smoke, and you can just hear him play video games in the bathroom. I'm like, my man, what are you doing? PlayStation Portable. He would just hide in the bathroom, smoke, play his fucking PSP and everything. When we go shopping, my mom would go, you know, look at clothes and everything. He you know those little stools where the men wait as the wives did the shopping. He would just sit there playing his PSP. He had no time for that shit. He was just chilling. But she lets you play as much as you want. Hey, that's cool.
Needs to have and enjoy to keep playing with your game.
Only person in your pamphlet who plays games is your sister, and she only plays Roblox. Damn. You got your wife and all six of your kids. God bless you, man. That's damn. God bless you. The 6 kids. Holy crap. Damn, Charles. Respect, dude. Lazy PM probably did the biggest rant on Warframe ever. Oh, I didn't know that. I'll have to watch it.
For 100 hours it gets good then is pointless.
True.
If the majority of your player base is going to give up after 2. Hardcore gamers, or veteran players of certain MMOs, ones with hundreds or thousands of hours already invested in, often forget how much of a time sink 100 hours really is for the average person. And I find it extremely telling when players tell me to play their game for at least 100 hours to get to the good bit, but when I ask them if they're willing to play my MMO for 100 hours to try it out, suddenly it's too much of a time investment.
True.
You ever notice how the long-time enfranchised players will demand others forgive their game's early design and insist it's worth pushing through, but then they're not willing to push through the early design of others?
True.
If you have time invested into a game and you insist others do the same, but when you try to invest time into another game, you realize you're not enjoying it early on and consider quitting within the first 2 hours. That's how new people feel coming to your game. Many game companies refuse to invest in or update the new player experience because that's not the part that they think makes money. The big spenders are the long-time players, the higher levels, but those companies often fail to see that you only find and keep new long-term players when people make it through your early game. The first 2 hours of a game are essential. Never mind the suggestion of the first 100. Most people won't find 100 hours free in several months. 100 hours is a crazy amount of free time for the average person to actually find. You can watch the complete series of Firefly in 15 hours.
That's not long at all. What the fuck? That's not long at all. God damn. I need to watch Firefly, I guess.
You can watch all of Breaking Bad in 61 hours. All of Game of Thrones.
What?
In 63. On average, you can finish the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy in 23 hours. The books, not the films. You can play the entirety of The Witcher 3 and all extra content and missions, including every Gwent match, in just over 100 hours. So telling someone to invest as much time as The Witcher would take into an MMO that might get good is a bit of a gamble. In 1995, entertainers Penn and Teller released the parody video game Desert Bus. In it, you must drive a bus in real time from Tucson to Las Vegas. It takes 8 hours there and 8 hours back, and the bus lists to the right constantly, so you have to actually pay attention. You can't just click drive and wait. It takes 16 hours to finish. Imagine someone saying to you, finish Desert Bus 6 times and then it gets really good. They might be telling the truth. It might get really good, but are you going to actually want to invest?
People made a macro for this. I bet you there are people who made a macro for this.
All of that time to get to the good bit, or are you going to go and do something that's good now? So the average gamer has just over an hour and 10 minutes a day free to play, and will give your game 2 hours before deciding whether they want to quit or carry on. And you're saying the game needs at least 100 hours. You've lost players far before you get to the 100-hour mark. But let's ask another question.
Yes.
If the game does indeed get good after 100 hours, why? Why do you need 100 hours for the game to get good?
Damn. I can't. Yes, but what got you to invest into the game for you to get to 100 hours, for it to feel better? It should have been good from the beginning. He cooked with that review. Yeah, he did, bro. Have you seen the Lisa skin? Yeah, I saw it. I haven't logged into Genshin for like 3 days. And I still have my battle pass to do. I've been farming a lot in D2. Getting used to the movement, understanding of modding. There are some people who were looking for something complicated as that. You know, the funny part was how in-depth modding multipliers can be in Warframe, right? But then it also has its limitations. Because you can only ever make so many combinations.
What is it doing after the 100-hour mark that
Hello there.
Can't be doing before?
I just realized his cup is very tiny. Usually if you have a mug with coffee or tea, a little bit bigger, you want to grab it like this, and do a little bit of that. Yeah, that's a tiny little thing, and he hasn't taken a sip. Is it real? To make him look bigger? Bro, you might be right. Might be onto
When a
something.
player says a game gets good, they mean it changes. And there's only really 3 ways it can change to affect the enjoyment factor. Either it takes the systems it already has
He's
and
an
refines
Englishman?
them to such a degree that all the mechanical
This is a bit
aspects
bigger,
suddenly
man.
make sense and are more enjoyable to use, or it changes everything about the systems and
Same
the
thing,
changes
Savage.
for the better.
That's how I got
or
into it.
Sets up 100 hours worth of context and backstory, and now things make sense and the story gets good. All of these have their issues. If your game takes 100 hours for the mechanics in it to become refined and enjoyable enough to be engaging and fun, then why are you actively choosing to keep the opening 100 hours, which you have admitted are subpar? Why on earth would you actively force a new player to slog through the worst part of your game first before letting them get to the good part? A game isn't a job, and the majority of your player base will not want to treat your game as a second job. It's not a trial.
My man, Korean MMOs. If you don't treat it as a second job, you're not going to be enjoying that game. That's the one thing with Korean MMOs. Okay? I love Warframe on release. Then I took a 2-year break, and now I'm trying to get back into the game. Yeah, it's going to be a little learning curve when you're trying to get back into things. We all like Warframe because we can do creativity, making so many build and playstyle. That's true. But think about it this way. The first thing you do when you get into Warframe, okay, we're in Warframe right now. You get into Warframe. You're shown, of course, the market, but past the market, you're shown this part right here, Foundry. And then let's say you start building shit. And then you start crafting a blueprint. 12 hours. Okay? Once you finish crafting each individual parts, you then have to wait 3 days. 3 fucking days to get the actual Warframe. Now, you don't want to wait 3 days to enjoy your new fucking Warframe. And that's where Plat comes in. You're like, damn, I don't want to wait 3 days. I mean, I don't need to order from fucking McDonald's today. I can just spend $10 in this video game to get a little bit of platinum so I can rush. Oh yeah, I got a token. Oh, what did Futz? Roast profile, daddy? Oh no. Okay, we'll have a look at that in a bit. You rush Baruch Prime? Yeah, I don't wait anymore. I rush every single Warframe and weapon I craft now. I farm the plat, and over time, if there's a new thing that comes out, I rush it.
You must pass. It's a recreational hobby. If you as a game designer have a 100-hour-long game but only the final 2 hours are as good as you can make them and as fun as they can be, then what you have is a 2-hour-long game.
You cannot cancel crafting in PlayStation? Really? Huh.
With 98 hours of intro crap. Trim the excess off and place quality over quantity. MMOs know the early game can suck, which is why they sell boosts, and people get angry.
Well, Nocturne, where? Oh my god, you didn't know you can cancel this whole time? You have to press R2 on the thing? Well, there you go, Nocturne. You just wasted all your resources because you didn't know you can cancel. Get wrecked, dude. Oh.
Angry at people when they buy boosts, but consider this.
Roblox didn't know you can solve
Let's redirect your
polarity.
anger
Yeah, I'm
toward the
surprised I
game
didn't know
design
that.
and not the players, because when long-term players discover new players have the ability to pay to boost through the content, they often get angry. But why? Why anger? Why annoyance? Is it...
Here, listen, I'll tell you one thing. How people who pay to win, you shouldn't be angry at people who pay to win. Listen. I'll tell you something that will blow your mind, okay? Let's say you have a lot of free time. You've invested a lot of time in the game. You have all these things, right? And you remember your days playing the game, how you struggled, you had to go through, learn all the ways to, like, find loopholes to get things faster, learn the metas and all this shit, right? Then you get someone who just started the game, goes swipe, click, click. He has what you have really fast. And then you're like, what the fuck? That's lame, right? But then when you realize that guy can only play an hour or 2 hours a day, unlike you. So he is trying to get the enjoyment of the game like you're trying to do, right? But he just doesn't have the time to invest. So he needs to at least get something to give him a little boost. But then they sunk, it doesn't matter. They're enjoying the game the way they want to, with the limited time they have. Just because you don't want to spend, or you can't spend, doesn't mean you should hate people who can spend, or are willing to spend. Secondly, it's thanks to those guys who spend that can keep the free-to-play game alive. Even though it's free-to-play, it doesn't mean it doesn't earn money. All the plat that you get by trading, that's gotten, that plat has been, put into the system thanks to the players who spent money to buy plats and trade it to other players. You cannot trade gifted plats from Warframe streams or DE. That plat is untradeable. The only tradable plat is the one that people paid for. So if it wasn't for the people who paid, remember the founders packs? Yeah, people paid. So yeah, it doesn't, for me, I don't care if someone is pay to win or whatever, right? The only time where someone who's pay to win, let's say we're doing a raid in an MMO, someone who's pay to win, who paid for everything, right, comes into the raid, pretends like he knows shit, but he doesn't know shit. Then you make fun of him. Right? This is a Strife's video? Yeah, it's a Strife video.
Because you feel the playing of the game is a rite of passage, a trial that you completed and therefore others must as well. Because if the early game was legitimately fun and enjoyable and great for you and someone boosts through it, you should feel sorry for them. They missed out on a great experience. You have good memories of it and they don't.
True.
What a shame. If the early game is indeed terrible and they boosted and you get annoyed that you had to slog through it and they didn't, that's really malicious. You're admitting the game design is bad but see enduring it as some sort of badge of honor. If the early...
Damn, bro, these takes, man. These takes are good. Fuck. It stops you and you think, you're like, goddamn. What he's saying is fucking true. That's why you enjoy Diablo 2. It's just hard, challenging game and late game. Yeah, I love how here it's simple curve. See if okay. Here's an example. Here's an example. You're gonna hate this example, but it's also a true example. Take a look at Genshin Impact. Want to know how they got a lot of players in? You want to know how they're making so much money? Simple. Make a game that looks alluring. You click the game, you're like, oh, shit, this is nice. Introduce you. They teach you the mechanics as you go. Not familiar with Genshin? It's an MMO gacha game. I'm just explaining as we go. So you go into the world, fancy things. You see a monster. They're like, hey, attack that monster. You go there, you attack the monster. You're learning an ability. Cool. You get to this place. You resonate with it. Boom. You open up the world map. So now they just introduce you to a fighting mechanic, elemental mechanic, and an exploration mechanic. And now they tell you, go discover, move out around a bit, see what you can find, see what you can do. And the first thing you see is you see 3 mobs and a chest. Right? You're like, oh shit, that chest has a big lock sign on it, and there's 3 enemies guarding it. Let me go use the things I just learned. You do that, and you get rewarded with loot. You're like, oh shit, I just got loot. You equip that loot on your character. You're like, I'm kind of strong now, right? So like, yeah, go. And then you encounter another character. You meet that character, and then you find out, hey, you can have that character on your team. And you're like, wait, no way. It's like, shit, so I can collect characters and get stronger, use different abilities. That's cool. Now you use what you learned before with that new character. And then you build your way, do a little bit of the story, then you get to the main city, and then they introduce you to the wishing system. This is where they get you. This is where they get you. They're like, hey, you want more cool looking characters like that one, but way better, and that does more damage? And you're like, well, click that button. You click it, you're like, you see a little fancy light, you didn't get a character, and you're like, they're like, wait, what the fuck? Why didn't I get that character? You press the button again, you don't get the character, and you're out of those fancy little items that you just farmed up. You're like, wait, how do I get more of these? I want to get that character. He looks cool, or she looks fucking hot because she has big titties or some shit, right? And then you find out, hey, you have a chance at getting these characters. Yeah, how do I do that? You just have to, put your hand in your pocket. Yeah. Pull out your wallet. Yeah. Type those little fancy numbers on that card of yours. Yeah. And click pay. Yeah. Okay. Let me do that. Click. Now you have more of those fancy things. You click the button. You don't get the character. You're like, what the fuck? Click another button. You don't get the character. And you're frustrated. You really want that character. You're like, okay, you know what? I see what they did. They try to make me, they made me spend my money. And then guess what? As soon as you get that idea of wanting that character out of your head, they introduce a challenge for you. A challenge where you can't progress unless you have a specific character with a specific element that can get rid of that challenge that's in front of you. And you're like, fuck, do I try hard? I don't have any time to play this game. Do I try hard or try and get that cool character? You know what what's the thing that you're gonna do? You're gonna try and get that character. You click it, you have the satisfaction of the newer, fancier, shiny glow. Boom. You got that character. And you're like, holy shit, that felt good. That excitement, that dopamine, you just got that rush, that sensation. Oh my God, I got that character. Now you play with that new character that you want, you explore more, blah, blah, blah. And then another event comes by, a newer character comes by. And rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat, my dude. Yeah. Reward and the satisfaction of you doing damage, that's how they get you. And Warframe does a really bad job at this. See, Warframe doesn't get you going. Like, it doesn't have that, like, oh, what can I do now? It's like, do this mission, okay? You get this weapon, okay? It does damage here, okay, but next mission is not going to do damage. So what you can do is put a mod in it. Okay, I'll put a mod in it. So you'll be stuck using that weapon, and you're like, I want something new. And then you get that something new. It's either pay for that new weapon, right? Or craft and wait for it. So like, okay, now let's say you want a weapon that looks very fancy. You watched a video of some dude using a fucking synapse or whatever, and you're locked behind mastery rank. You're like, oh, I have to do a fucking mastery challenge. And how do I get mastery XP? I have to level up random items. How do I get more XP faster? Well, you need to pay for a affinity booster. Okay, what are the best places to level? Well, you have one thing. Progress more into the story to passively gain XP, unlock Sanctuary Onslaught, unlock Saemony, unlock Hydron, which takes a lot longer. Hydron is actually, getting to Sedna takes a while. Like, the grind just to feel a little bit of power takes way too long. That's the one thing that Warframe is missing, is that little boost of power in the beginning. You feel the difference. Yeah, the limiting of trades per day because of your mastery rank. You can't earn enough. See, what Genshin did right is give you that sensation of newer, exciting things, and wanting and basically giving you this sensation of, you know, going deeper, learning more about the stories, about the characters, and how all the different powers that they have, so you can explore and kill giant monsters. You know how long it takes for a Warframe player, regular Warframe player, to kill a giant monster? A while. Why are you talking about something good? They're robbing you? Exactly. But you want to know something, Farion? There are more players on that game that robs you than Warframe because they did something right. That excitement. There are people who actually don't pay a single dime in Genshin, right? They're like, they have this thing like, oh, I'm free to play. I'm strong. Good for you. No one cares. Right? Right? But they still play because it keeps them coming back. Is this an Elden Ring comparison to Warframe or Genshin? No, we're talking about how a game can excite you on the first few minutes rather than spending 100 hours to feel strong. Yeah. It takes a while in Warframe for you to feel strong, but there are games that they give you that little power trip. Like, oh shit. I'm new to playing Warframe, still logging 150 days now, but I feel so good hitting every level cap enemies now. That's good. Bullet jump feels OP? No, it's a movement tool. That's not power. You want to know what's something powerful? The first time you get a bow and you pierce the guy, to the wall. That feels powerful. Now, if they gave you something for free right away, or a Warframe, something that, you know, just boost your power or teach you how to mod, something that can boost a new player and give them that little excitement of power a bit earlier on. Not too much, just enough. When you get your first Hex shotgun, but it takes a while to get the Hex shotgun. You need to be MR8, I think, or no, MR5 for Hex. What's the MR for Hex? MR4. That's 4 days. You have to play the game for 4 days. Right? But if you don't know how to level up mastery or get enough XP, it's going to take longer than 4 days. That's long, dude. That takes way too long, man. Just to get to MR4. Is that a new skin? No, it's not a new skin. And Genshin did it within 10 minutes. So that's one way to get your players excited so they can play the game, so they can spend the money and get you playing more. I never imagined I'd pay money in Warframe because I can farm everything for plat. Yeah, because you have time to play. People who don't have time to play will spend money. Yes, there are things that I can't imagine myself fucking like paying money for this, but people will pay money. For example, Prime accesses, those things sell because people don't want to waste their time farming for the Warframe, and they just want to get the Warframe, the gear, and the fancy cool accessories that they came with because they like the Warframe and they don't have time to farm. They got it, they can just leave and come back and level it later. I think that master rank is... It is fucking stupid the way they limit you daily. Yeah, it's like, okay, I guess I'll come back tomorrow and play. You know, it's like, come on, I just want to play and have fun. I want to do things. You want to see, that's why the thing in MMOs where you go there, instead of doing the main quest, you do side quests, you get stronger, and you come back to the main quest and stomp on the fucking boss. You're like, yeah, that's right. I killed you. I'm stronger than you. Because I did side quests instead of actually progressing with the main quest. Now you have slightly better gear, better items that you looted for some random mob. right? And then when you do the main quest, they reward you with that low level shit. You're like, I don't need this. It's not as strong as the shit I got from the, doing my side quests. Other people have told me crafting timing is why they stopped playing. Yes, that crafting time is so stupid, and it's a bad way for DE to get people to spend money. If you want people to spend money, you have to do it in a smarter way. There's so many things you can do to make people to spend money, because the one thing that game developers need to do is get for you to break your seal. What that means is to get you to spend your first dime on the game. Once they've done that, that's it. They got you. Meaning you're willing to spend money on this game later down the line if it's needed. You first quit because of the build time and slots. I can understand. This talk made me don't want to play Warframe. What are the games you recommend? No, I mean, Warframe is great, again, once you get into it. But what I'm talking about is a Warframe new player experience is so dog shit. It needs a rework. People saying, oh, but they gave you that new intro. That's nothing. That's just a new intro. The intro is different, but once you get through the intro, it's the same thing. And stopped after a couple of hours. Now I'm an old man, a little more patient. Damn. Nothing wrong with spending money on a game. Exactly, nothing wrong. Especially if you enjoy the game. True. I remember when I bought something in Warframe. Like, I did spend real money in Warframe. Tenogen skins on PC, you have to spend real money. Prime accesses, right? When they unvault something before this Regal Aya thing, you would spend money. Right? And I did buy a Prime Access, 2 Prime Accesses back in the days. Right? So they've already broken me. Right? They got me to spend money in game. I don't do it anymore because there's nothing else that I need. I know how things work. I know how to farm. So now, even if you tell a new player, hey, don't spend real money, they'll still spend real money. Paid for Destiny 2, of course. How can you play a game that's just a free trial without actually buying it? For a few primes that can't be bothered to spend time farming or even buy prime access, just wait 1 or 2 weeks. It's always 100 plat or less. Well, but you still farmed that plat, so you can buy it. Spent hundreds on Tenogens, some farms I wanted to skip. Hey, fair money. But it's your most played on Steam? Yeah, you enjoy the game. Played Warframe for a long time before I spent money. I felt like the game was worth spending money on. That's true. Like, that's what I did as well. When I was like, yo, I really like this Warframe. I want them to look better than their default skin. I think the first Tenogen skin I ever bought was Saren. Because I really like the Warframe, and I think I have like 2-3 Tenogen skins of her. Yeah. You bought the plants? Hate me or love me? There's no need to hate you. So what if you spend money on plants? That's fine. It's thanks to people who spend money on plat that there's plat to be traded. Right? It's people who spend money in the game who keep the game alive. I hate when people say, "Oh, it's free to play game. You can't you can't what do you call it? Judge it. You can't criticize it." I'm like, "You can." Free to play games aren't free to play. It's they don't understand that concept. I have people, when I criticize Warframe, like, "Oh, it's buggy. This happens. They need to fix it." You can't criticize it. It's a free to play game. That is the dumbest fucking excuse. That is the dumbest fucking take I've ever heard in my entire life. Right? They earn money. How do you think they're able to do TennoCon? They do TennoCon every fucking year. That's a huge convention. A company that doesn't earn money will not be able to do these kinds of things. A company that doesn't earn money won't be able to host servers for you to play in, for you to log in, for you to play the game or play updates, all this shit. Legit. Look at Fortnite, they make money off of cosmetics. Exactly. It's free money for them. Had a friend that said he won't play Warframe because it's free to play. Hey, if they don't want to play, they don't want to play. So free, you had to wait 24 hours to play again. Yeah. I do spend plat, but hey, it's not that much. They give, yeah, like if you're willing to spend plat in the game, wait for that juicy 75% discount. Right, unfortunately, like I got a 20%, even that I'm not gonna spend, right? Easy. When you get a 75%, it's really it's actually a deal. It's free money for them, for Warframe, and for you.
Gameplay isn't good, then
yes, there are way worse free to play systems in Warframe, way worse, and I've been a victim to a few. Lost Ark, Genshin.
You should be lobbying for it to be improved, not forcing other new players to go through it so their suffering matches yours and you feel vindicated. If suffering through the early game crap is a rite of passage for your game's community, don't be surprised when that community doesn't grow and new players quit. The other potential of a game getting good after 100 hours is because the gameplay changes to a new style or what you're doing in the game switches dramatically. This happens in Terror when your class goes through the Awakening and the gameplay of that class becomes vastly different. So different, in fact, all your training and muscle memory up to this point is now basically
never played
useless.
It, I wouldn't know.
If your game does this, why? If you have a game design switch that many players will argue is objectively better, then bring that forward so a new player gets a taste of it from the very start.
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said.
I'm not saying you need to thrust a new player into a chaotic, overwhelming mess of a system from day one. I'm saying if you have decided your advanced players get to experience something awesome, then your new players should be working toward that from the start.
Thank you. That's exactly what I said. You see, I compared it to Genshin, how Genshin gives you that little taste of power, like, ooh, I want to do more of this. That's what you should do. And they don't do that. You got 60% back in September, then after I used it 2 days later, I got 75% pain. Damn. Oh, they got you. Did you spend it again?
Not experiencing an inferior system for the first 100 hours. And finally, the idea that hundreds of hours worth of setup is needed for a payoff, such as context or characterization or world building. Skilled world building or emotional setups can be woven into the fabric of gameplay, the audio or the visual mediums, the voiceover lines, or the gameplay itself. If you need 100...
Is that a pun for the 1000th time? Is that a pun? Hey, I did something to the group. I forgot what he says. I've muted him so long ago. I don't remember what he says. When I hear someone with Ortis audio active, I'm actually genuinely surprised. I'm like, wow, you haven't muted him yet? My Ortis has been muted forever. Like, as soon as I hear a stream with Ortis playing, I'm actually surprised. Like, how are you still listening to this guy? It's like, oh, he's funny. Then you check, oh, they just been playing for 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Yes, a little funny. Well, you can mute him. Yes, you can. You didn't know that. My Warframe is strong. Yeah, exactly. I'm waiting for cross save. Oh, dude. Everything on Ortis, the only thing you can't do is mute his little pop-up. I would love if he doesn't pop. You know what's really annoying? You're looking at your build. Let's say you open up your build window and Ortis pops up right here while you're trying to change a mod. And he's like in your face like, hey, operator, did you check your mail? Hey, operator, there's something you haven't done. I'm like, bro, let me just put my mod. Go away. You know? It's really annoying. 1K hours gonna mute him now? Goddamn.
Hours worth of setup for a payoff? It needs to be the greatest payoff in all of gaming, because you are literally taking more time to set your story up than Breaking Bad takes to tell its entire...
Hold up, I have to do one thing. Give this video a like. Oh shit. I had to give it a like. It was good.
story.
It was
Otherwise,
good.
you need to trim down. And as the quote at the start mentioned, take more time to write a shorter letter. So the next time you tell someone it gets good after 100 hours, please remember, if you actually want to attract new players to your game or convince new people to play it, this is a terrible thing to say. You are not helping your own cause, because the average person has just over 1 hour a day to play and will not enjoy the idea of investing 100 hours into something they might not even enjoy. Telling someone it takes 100 hours to get good is basically saying to someone, do you want to dedicate a third of your year to maybe enjoying this? They will, on average, invest 2 hours into your game, and they will leave if it doesn't engage them. If your game takes 100 hours to get good, you are actively saying the first 100 hours is a subpar quality product compared to the rest. So why on earth are you keeping it, and why are you making it the first thing that potential new players to your franchise see? You are putting your worst foot forward. If your game changes after 100 hours in to suddenly get fun, just put that fun at the front and start with it. If you are not able to build an engaging, involved narrative, story, or world within 100 hours, sit down with your writing team and condense
He's got that wok
down.
cooking,
Telling a new player your game gets good after 100 hours isn't a positive description of your game. You're telling a new player they will need to experience an actively inferior product. They'll have to play through a pointless section. In some cases, if the game changes in the late game, are completely irrelevant 100 hours, because it won't matter what they do in those anyway. If you need 100 hours to set a narrative up, you need to condense your story down. When you say to someone it gets good after 100 hours, that's not a positive for your game design. So if you want new players to experience your game and stick with it, the next time you're telling someone it gets good 100 hours in, just stop and ask yourself, why? Why do you feel the need to tell this to them? Why do you need to experience 100 hours of low quality game before the good bit happens? And if you're making a game, remember, you've got 2 hours to grab and hold someone's attention and then remain consistently high quality. If eventually you realise your early game is weak compared to your late game because you as a developer have improved and your quality has increased, change your early game.
Exactly. DE's quality has improved over the years, right? They've implemented a lot of new things. Some bad, but they've implemented a lot of good things as well. Fucking void sling. Why is that a thing? Anyway, I'm sorry. I digress. But yes, they've added some really cool things where you go, oh shit, this is fun. New modding, not really new modding, but new mods to fool around with, etc., etc. But you know, instead of adding new stuff, your fucking your base foundation needs to be reworked. If your foundation is shit, the building will collapse. You get what I'm saying? You won't be able to reach that floor up top there. You're gonna be like falling through shit. You should not stay tuned for better game. Yeah, I totally did.
To match your late game's quality. I guarantee you will notice an increase in players and revenue if you do. Sorry this video dragged on longer than it needed to. If I had longer to make it, I would have written a shorter script.
Goddamn. Okay, bro. Okay, bro.
Cheers for watching.
Cheers.
And as always, have a great day.
Goddamn. 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 I did not think I would enjoy that video. Goddamn. So if you want to see the video, here it is. Go give it a watch, a like, whatever, because goddamn. Goddamn. I don't know what that's it. I said it. It was a really good video. It made more sense. You never saw Worst MMO. I only watched the Warframe one. I was kind of like, he didn't he didn't do this, he didn't do that, which makes a lot more sense now, you know.